Sometimes you see a headline and you just think, no way, that has to be science fiction. Well, this is one of those stories. We're about to dive into ancient ice, suspended animation, and a living creature brought back from an impossibly long sleep.
Let's just start with a number, 24,000. That's how many years our story spans. To give you some perspective, the Great Pyramids of Giza, they're only about 4,500 years old. Yeah, we're going way, way back.
And for all that time, the star of our show wasn't just taking a long nap. It was frozen solid. We're talking locked away deep in the Siberian permafrost, basically an ancient icy prison, where time itself just stops.
But here's the absolute kicker. Today, right now, it is alive. It's moving, it's eating, it's reproducing. Which brings us to the one question we're all thinking. How on earth is that even possible?
This is basically a biological miracle, pulled right out of the depths of the Ice Age. So let's unpack exactly what scientists discovered.
Okay, the most important thing to get here is that we're not talking about some simple virus or bacteria. No way. Scientists revived a complex, multicellular animal, an organism with a brain, a nervous system that had spent 24,000 years in total suspended animation.
So who is this microscopic star of our show? Well, it's an animal you've probably never heard of before. But let me tell you, it is a true survivor. Say hello to the beadloid rotifer. The name might be a bit of a mouthful, but this tiny creature is a legend. It's a freshwater invertebrate that has a well-earned reputation among scientists for being one of the toughest animals on the entire planet. You could say the rotifer has a set of biological superpowers, and these aren't just minor advantages. We're talking extreme survival mechanisms. They can be completely dried out, blasted with radiation, and of course, frozen solid. They pull this off by entering a state of suspended animation called cryptobiosis. It's this incredible process where they basically just shut down their metabolism, protecting their cells from being destroyed as they freeze. Oh, and to top it all off, they reproduce just by cloning themselves. Now, this creature wasn't just found lying on the surface. Nope. Scientists had to drill deep, deep into the frozen earth of Siberia to even find it. So what the researchers did was drill a core sample from the frozen ground near the Elizea River in northeastern Siberia, about 11.5 feet down in soil that literally hadn't thawed since the last ice age. They found their specimen. Finding it was one thing, but waking it up? That was a completely different challenge. So how did scientists manage to coax this little creature back into the world of the living after a 24,000-year nap?
While the revival process was incredibly methodical and delicate. First, they very carefully thawed that core sample. Then, looking through a microscope, they isolated the dormant rotifer and placed it in a special nutrient-rich medium. And then, they just waited. And sure enough, before long, the tiny creature rehydrated, it started to move, and against all odds, it just came back to life.
And this wasn't just some flicker of metabolic activity either. The rotifer was fully functional. It started moving, eating, and doing what it does best, making perfect copies of itself. This was a complete, 100% successful revival. So, a tiny creature comes back to life. It's an amazing story for sure, but what are the bigger implications here? Why does this one microscopic survivor matter so much to all of us today? First, let's just really try to absorb that timeline. Our rotifer froze when woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats were still roaming the earth. It stayed frozen through the entire development of human agriculture, the rise and fall of ancient civilizations, all the way to right now. It's pretty much a living time capsule. This single discovery has massive implications. It fundamentally pushes what we thought were the limits of how long a complex animal can survive being frozen. It gives us incredible insights for cryobiology, the science of preserving life at low temperatures. It even helps our search for life on other worlds, like on the frozen moons of Jupiter or the polar ice caps of Mars. I mean, if a rotifer can survive here, what could be surviving out there? And that leaves us with one final, fascinating question. This little rotifer has shown us that the permafrost isn't some lifeless wasteland, but more like a frozen ark, preserving ancient life. So if a multicellular animal can survive for 24,000 years locked in the ice, what else is down there, just waiting to be woken up?